In the shadowed depths of the Pacific, a tremor splits the ocean floor. Dormant for decades, a presence awakens, its heartbeat sending silent ripples through the world's natural order. Godzilla, the ancient reptilian titan, stirs from the abyss, an indomitable force of nature, forged in the fires of prehistory, now rising through the blue-black waters toward the light of a chaotic world. Thousands of miles away, upon the verdant ancient slopes of Skull Island, another legend senses the call. King Kong, last of a mighty bloodline, stands vigilant in the primordial rainforest, a towering simian monarch with unmatched strength and cunning. The delicate balance of his world is disturbed. Something vast draws near, something that threatens not just his rule, but the very meaning of dominance itself. The world holds its breath as seismic readings spike unnaturally across the globe. Ship lanes are closed, skies are emptied of traffic, military forces quietly mobilize along coastlines and strategic locations. All eyes turn to the Pacific Rim, where two legends will clash in a battle not seen for millennia, a conflict to decide once and for all who shall be crowned king of the monsters. Godzilla's approach is heralded by a tempest. Tsunamis lash city shores as his dorsal plates slice the surface, crackling with atomic energy. In Tokyo Bay, harbors are emptied in panic. Skyscrapers, long thought unshakable, now loom precariously above streets clogged with fleeing multitudes. Sirens wail as the monster comes ashore, his massive tail carving through infrastructure, his bellows shattering glass and hope alike. Yet, before destruction can fully take hold, the waters offshore churn violently. Aircraft dispatch reconnaissance drones, catching grainy footage in the driving rain. A monstrous shadow, upright, wading confidently through the surf. Kong has arrived, battered by the journey, yet defiant. His muscled form silhouetted against the flickering city lights. In his hand, a makeshift weapon, a great bone club, scavenged from his home and bound with steel torn from the hull of a sunken vessel. The confrontation is inevitable. The two titans lock eyes, centuries of primal instinct surging in an instant. Godzilla, radiating raw atomic energy, unleashes a rumbling growl. Kong beats his chest, his roar reverberating through a city paralyzed by fear. The first clash is seismic. Kong leaps, dodging a blinding pulse of atomic breath which shears through concrete towers and sets the skyline ablaze. He lands a mighty blow with his club, ringing Godzilla's armored skull, but the Leviathan hardly staggers. Godzilla's tail sweeps Kong aside, collapsing 4 city blocks in the process. The duel accelerates. Godzilla, with the advantage of his devastating ranged attack and armored hide, floods the battleground with radioactive energy. Skyscrapers incinerate in the blue-white glow of his atomic breath. Kong, agile and cunning, relies on the urban terrain, swinging between ruined edifices, striking from above, always seeking a weakness in the reptile's scaly defense. Windows shatter as Kong hurls a toppled train car, momentarily stunning his foe. Godzilla, battered and burning, drags himself from beneath a toppled tower. He gathers power, his dorsal plates crackling with gathering atomic light. Kong charges, heedless of the danger, intercepting Godzilla just as the atomic breath erupts, the explosion silhouetting both monsters against a backdrop of destruction. Kong staggers back, flames licking at his fur, but retains his footing, swinging his club in a furious arc, shattering Godzilla's jaw. Bruised, bleeding, the Titans grapple, fury and strategy locked in equal measure. Godzilla's tail constricts, pinning Kong, but Kong claws at his adversary's eyes, forcing a break. With desperate strength, Kong wrenches a steel girder from the wreckage, driving it into Godzilla's side. The Leviathan howls, tail writhing, while nuclear energy pulses dangerously bright across his wounds. For long minutes, monster and ape surge and falter through the rubble. Kong's agility and intelligence counter Godzilla's resilience and raw power. Each move reverberates through the city, carving new scars into its face. Finally, battered and exhausted, the two behemoths stand above the flattened skyline, steam rising from their bodies, the roar of flames and distant sirens the only sounds. Godzilla, acknowledging a foe worthy of his wrath, emits a final, echoing cry and sinks heavily to one knee. Kong, chest heaving, surveys the devastation, not as a brute, but as a survivor, a reluctant champion. Rather than deliver the killing blow, he steps back, beating his chest once in defiance and respect. The world, watching with bated breath, begins to stir from its paralysis. As Godzilla retreats, vanishing into the smoke-choked bay, Kong ascends the tallest surviving spire, the new, and perhaps only, king of the monsters, his silhouette framed by the first rays of dawn, breaking over a scarred but hopeful horizon. In the silence that follows, mankind takes stock, not only of the destruction, but of the sheer power and mystery that still dwells among them. The title has been won, but it serves now as a warning. Nature's rulers choose their moments, and their kings by right of power and will alone.